Hey guys, and welcome to another video from Chris's Footy Kicks. So today we are going to be talking, and I'm going to be giving my review of the Adidas F50 leather remake, regen, whatever you want to call it, in this black and yellow colorway. I've worn this boot quite a lot, and I'm going to give you guys an honest opinion and my honest opinion of it as someone that still has the OG. So let's get into it. I think you might be a bit surprised. Okay, guys, so the remake of the Adidas Adizero F50 remake leather, whatever you want to call it, in this black and yellowy gold colorway, the stripes being this kind of nice shimmery sort of yellow. Okay, yeah, I'm going to give my honest opinion of this now as someone who has and still wears this, the OG. I did my unboxing and there was a few differences that I highlighted, but how does it really stack up? How does it feel on feet? And how is the leather? So let's get into this again, guys. So straight off the bat, it's heavier without a doubt. Okay, in hand, side by side, it's a heavier boot. This is definitely lighter. I've not put it on the scales. I'm not going to put it on the scales, but I can tell you straight off the bat, it's heavier. The quality of the leather, if we go into talking about leather, is nice. Is it as nice as the OG? I don't know. This OG version, obviously, I've had for 15 years. It's super, super soft and malleable and comfortable, and it's lovely. It's not broken. I can still wear it now. It's a lovely leather. The leather on the new version is it's still soft and malleable and comfortable, but it's definitely thicker. But I've only played in it for probably about 3 hours, maybe a little bit more than that. So leather wise, yeah, it's I'd say it's on a par, not necessarily better, in my opinion. So that deals with the leather. Some things that they've done that obviously is different. Obviously, these stripes here, these are kind of raised on the surface, whereas the OGs aren't. It's obviously not going to add to the weight, but it's just a difference. One of the other things that I wanted to bring up was the insoles. These are the original insoles with the holes for the perforated for the lightweight version. This is the lightweight version in the new ones. Yeah, they're just a normal insole, nothing super special there. So there's obviously minor cosmetic changes, but that's going to lead me into a couple of the biggest changes. So the first being the sole plate. So the sole plate is obviously on the newest Adidas Sprint Frame 360, I think it is, sole plate. And this obviously is the original Sprint frame. There's no numbers with this one. It's just obviously the original sole plate, which obviously was a lot thinner, as you can see. It's definitely a lot thinner as we put it side by side. But it still works for me. Not on the hardest of grounds, I've got to be honest. On the hardest of grounds, you do feel that stud pressure through there. This, obviously, I've worn in California now. The pitches are really starting to get quite hard. I wouldn't say I felt any stud pressure with this sole plate at all. So that kind of dampened that quite nicely. Second thing that I picked up on was the tongue. The tongue is ever so slightly thicker, but that again could be just from over time. It definitely doesn't have the same perforations as the original, as you can see there. And obviously there, the perforations are slightly different in the tongue area. So again, negligible little things. The biggest thing for me with this boot, and this is going to be my biggest bone of contention is the lockdown. So if you look at the silhouette of this boot here side by side, it's got a lot more volume in the boot than the original. It may not seem it, but it has, both in obviously the forefoot and as you come up obviously with the laces. It's ever so slightly differently made. Now, I know that there's some people out there who reviewed this boot and have loved it and had no issues with it whatsoever in regards to lockdown. As you can see on this boot, I've had to go with a runner's loop. On the OGs, I don't. Okay, that obviously causes issues anyway because there isn't enough holes for the runner's loop. Really, yes, you can manage it, but it doesn't really work. And that brings me back on, if you look side by side here, in regards to how the stitching and the laces have been done. The lacing on the OG is a lot higher up actually up the boot. It's ever so slightly different, but it makes a massive difference. When I played in this boot, it felt super sloppy on feet. Now, I have an average foot. It's not wide. It's not super narrow. It is average. I know this because I literally got it measured at the weekend. My heels are not particularly fat or anything like that. My heel area is just a normal kind of heel. But this boot, even with the runner's loop, it just felt sloppy on feet constantly. I must have tied it and retied it numerous times throughout the session. And I played in a match with this as well. So as you can imagine, stopping in a match 3 or 4 times to retie this boot was super frustrating. Again, with the OG, I've never had to do, or not that I can ever recall having to do that. I just find that with this boot, once it's tied, it's tied. Yes, I still get the issue with the tongue slipping around, which again, Adidas, tongue slippage. You wear it, the tongue's dead straight. After a while, it slides round. It's super annoying. And it's just those subtle differences, as I said, in the way the stitching's been done. If you look here, the stitching kind of from the last lace hole to that line where the leather starts and finishes is slightly wider to this remake. Now, I don't know if that makes a massive difference, but to me, it does. It's just those small, slight differences of how this has been remade that takes it away from the original. Again, if you look at the stitching here to the original, it's slightly fatter and not as thin. This also seems to be a slightly thicker collar, both on the inside and the outside of the OG. This is kind of fatter on the inside, but not as fat on the outside. I might be splitting hairs here, but as I said, these are small little things that when you've worn a boot so many times, and an original version of a boot, that when you slip this on, you know what you're going to get. And I kind of had the feeling that I was going to get the same thing from this, and I didn't. Now, as I said, this could be purely down to my foot shape. Maybe I've just got a really odd, weird foot shape. I don't know. But yeah, I don't get me wrong. It's a very good remake, but it's not exact 1-to-1. Without a doubt, there are subtle differences here that if you still have the OG and you put the OG on, you're going to notice it 100%. It's better and it's worse. And that's the only way I can sum it up. The sole plate is better. The leather quality and padded sensation, I would say, is marginally better. Durability wise, questions still out on that. Obviously, these are 15 years old, still wear them, nothing wrong with them really at all, apart from the leather's worn off the toe box. That's my bad. That's how I drag my foot when I strike the ball. But the differences in this upper bit here and here, the way the lace holes have been placed, and there's just this very, very slight difference from here to here. I'd say from here to here, from about this far up, the changes that they've made have made the boot worse than the original for my foot shape. And that, again, that is for my foot shape, not for everyone's foot shape. Because I know there are people out here. Andrew from the Lockhart Boot blog has said these are amazing. Noah Kavanagh loves these guys, these boots. So again, it could just be down to my foot shape. These are obviously a UK 9. I went down half a size to kind of fill the boot a bit more. I don't know if that was a worse decision or a better decision. I don't know. But that's not going to detract from the fact that I had to retie this boot time and time again. So yeah, where does that leave us? In a world of remakes and regens and so on and so forth, I'm kind of starting to feel now that really these brands should leave these boots alone. They've had their day. If you've still got them, great. If they still work for you, great, perfect. But realistically, sometimes it's better just to leave the past in the past. And although this is a really, really good remake, it's not the same for me personally. For someone who plays in these boots, you know, I don't buy these boots and go, hey, yeah, I put this on for 20 minutes. It's amazing. I actually play in these boots. Every single pair that I buy, I go out and I play, I train, I practice to give you guys an honest opinion. And my honest opinion is that although this is a good boot, it's not a great boot. And it's certainly, for me, if I had to choose between the two on the ideal playing surface for a boot that I was going to play a game in, I'd pick the OG, because I know what I'm going to get from that day in, day out, game after game after game. This, yeah, it's padded, but I don't know if it's going to feel sloppy, tight, loose, come tight, stay tied, not stay tied. I really don't know. Which, as I said, is obviously has its bad points, but I love the fact that the leather is super comfortable and super padded. But that then would then bring me to, because it's not lighter than this, it's definitely heavier. That would then bring me into the fact that if I had a choice between this and the Proto, I'm picking the Proto all day long. All day long. So they probably weigh about the same. Maybe this weighs slightly more. But this, even with Mizuno's terrible laces, with that extra lace hole, stays tight. This doesn't. So that's where I am with it. It's not really a rant. It's kind of a little bit of disappointment. Really. Yes, it's a great boot, but is it a great boot for me? And the answer is no. It doesn't fit me as well as the OG does. And it may be just the slight subtle differences with the lace holes, the collar area, the leather. I really don't know. I can't put my finger on it exactly, but yeah. So that's it for me, guys. That's my honest opinion for the new Adi Zero remakes, the regen in this leather colorway. It's a good boot, but it's also not a good boot. Yeah, if you don't have the right foot for it, which is disappointing. So that's it for me, guys. We've still got a couple more reviews to come. I know we're in an era now of regens and remakes. You know, there's all sorts of boots on the way. I've got the TLSSs to get out on feet. They are going to get a massive session this weekend. I was hoping to get a session in them last weekend, but they are getting a good scene over this weekend, both coaching and playing. Got boots for sale, guys. As I did my live, please go back and watch the live. All boots are for sale. I've got them on eBay. They're on Instagram. You can see the boots on the wall here. If there's any boots that you see that you would like, message me, DM me on Instagram at Chrissy's Free Kicks. Offer me a price for any of the boots you can see. Sensible offers, obviously. I'm not giving away boots for free. Obviously, some of the older ones, yeah, I'll accept lower offers for them. That's it for me, guys, for this video. I think you can probably tell I'm a little bit disappointed. It's not all bad. If you've got the right feet and you want, obviously, this boot, get it. But I certainly would say try it first. And if you're someone that's got the OGs like me, and we're hoping for that 1 to 100% feel, it's not. And that's where I'm going to leave it. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you all soon. Thanks.